Why didn't the great power of Austria-Hungary have any colonies? Quick plug, like and share. Now of the 8 great powers, each of them had a colonial empire, except for Austria-Hungary, kinda. Technically 9 if you include the Ottoman Empire as European, but with their holdings, they wouldn't cleanly fit the definition of a colonial power as they didn't resettle their territories with a dominant Turkish population. Now the Austro-Hungarian Empire was a heavily disjointed one, home to Germans, Hungarians, Czechs, Slovaks, Poles, Ukrainians, Slovenes, Croatians and Serbians, Romanians, Italians, and many more. This was best exemplified by its governance, as the empire was split between the lands of the Crown of St. Stephen, which was comprised of the Kingdom of Hungary and the Triune Kingdom of Croatia, Slavonia, and Dalmatia, as well as the Austrian Empire. This meant that any government-sanctioned colonial dominions would need the support of all the members of the government to prevent dissension. Basically, the government had to work hard to make sure that the Czechs, Slovaks, Poles or any of the ethnic minorities didn't decide to tear the country apart to try and gain independence. Meaning that if they focused attention or resources externally, they would have less resources to focus on repressing their minorities. So, they didn't have any colonies then? Well, a brief tangent to the Boxer Rebellion, an interesting story I'll discuss later if people want. Now to quickly summarize the 455 days, a group known as the Society of Righteous and Harmonious Fists, or the Boxers, rebelled against the Qing government, aiming to forcefully expel the European presence and persecute the Chinese Christians. This led to the Eight-Nation Alliance, which included the United States, the United Kingdom, the German Empire, the Kingdom of Italy, the Russian Empire, the Japanese Empire, the Third French Republic and the Austro-Hungarian Empire, with the Kingdom of Belgium, the Spanish Empire, and the Kingdom of the Netherlands fighting alongside the alliance. As Austria-Hungary participated in the war, they were granted a concession zone in the Chinese city of Shenzhen. The concession zone was roughly 108 hectares, and was de jure Austro-Hungarian from 1902 to 1920, though it was occupied from 1917 to 1920 by the Republic of China. When the empire was dissolved, the constituent governments of Austria and Hungary had to recognize the Chinese revocation during the war, which would be declared in their Treaty of Saint-Germain-en-Laye on the 10th of September, 1919 for Austria, and their Treaty of Trianon on the 4th of June, 1920 for Hungary respectively. This meant that if you considered the concessions as colonial possessions, then technically Austria-Hungary had a colonial empire of a mighty 108-hectare city block. While technically this would qualify as a colonial territory, the size and the fact that it was only controlled by the empire for almost 15 years, it can be argued that it was a European enclave territory like the island of Saint Martin is for the French and the Dutch. But what do you think? While technically the Austro-Hungarian Shenzhen concession would technically qualify as a colony, it's far from what most would imagine when they picture the word European colony.